Hello, this is Bob Weir with the Cross Timbers Gazette, and I have another guest today, and this time it is Flower Mound Councilman Kevin Bryan. Councilman Bryan was elected in May of this year for a 2-year term after running on a platform of responsible growth for the town. Now, since his election, he's received a lot of criticism on local social media blogs, and much of the criticism concerns his votes on the council, which some say are contrary to the views of those who voted for him. I invited Mr. Bryan to answer his critics and to have him state what he believes his job is as a councilman. So let me begin, Councilman Bryan, just by saying, do you feel like you violated the trust of those who elected you?
Bob, thank you for having me out here. No, I don't think I have. I ran a campaign and on the platform of doing what is best for the town of Flower Mound, for all of Flower Mound. That's where my heart is. I have to represent and do the things that's best for the town as a whole. Some people take exception to things. I can't speak for them on that, on all their exceptions, or all their problems or issues they have with a certain vote. My job is to look at every issue that comes across my desk on the agenda, to look at all the details and to do what's right for the town of Flower Mound.
Yeah. So when a person is elected to any office, they're elected as a person of independent thought. I would imagine a person who has their own judgment, and in your case, you're a Flower Mound resident too, so one would imagine that you'd want to do the best for this town, just like the rest of us. But there are times when, especially in Flower Mound, there's a lot of volatile elections we have around here.
Yes.
And people get very passionate, and this past election in May was one of those. Mm-hmm. And of course, we had 3 new council members were elected, you being one of them. And the town has been dealing with what many people consider to be too much growth, too much development.
Right.
So, do you believe that the growth we've been having over the past few years is responsible growth?
In most cases, I mean, we've voted for the Prairie Commons development. I love that whole concept. I was able to work with the neighbors in the surrounding area and address some concerns, and we actually were able to vote for a development that wasn't a lot of controversy, and because I really like what they're bringing, the way they're doing, being responsible to the surrounding environment and responsible to the neighbors. There is a lot of growth. Growth is happening. Flower Mound isn't exploding, and yes, we have a lot of development, and it's a lot of things that were in place years ago, and they're all hitting now. Our population isn't exploding. We have a less than 2% growth rate over the last few years. We do have commercial base coming in, and a lot of really neat things are coming in. The movie house and eatery, the several different high-end nice restaurants that are destination things for Flower Mound, which is what I want to see, and I'm glad they're coming here. But we do have to be responsible in that we're not just changing wholesale what was planned. Sure. And I don't think we're doing that.
Sure, and I agree. There are a lot of very positive growth areas in Flower Mound, and certainly the Riverwalk is going to be a primary area for people all over the county, perhaps the state. And you have Lakeside and a lot of other areas. But mainly what you wanted to talk about, I think, is what's with all the criticism about your votes. I mean, people who vote you into office, do they expect that you are a kind of rubber stamp for one direction in the town? Like, do they believe that you should vote against every development project that comes across your desk?
You can't say yes or no to everything. I mean, you have to look at the merits of each proposal that comes across, there are some things that don't make sense. There are things that make sense. I think the one example that people take issue with was the development out west, where they wanted to reduce a lot size in a small section of that development. You know, looking at the surrounding area and how it fit into to that area, it made sense for me to vote for it.
And that would have been Canyon Falls?
I believe it was Canyon Falls. That was the name of the development.
And some of those lots were what, 7,500?
Yes, they wanted to go from a small pocket wanted to go from larger than 10,000 square foot lots to around 7,500 square foot lots. It wasn't putting in, you know, zero lot line houses or condos or apartments. It was just reducing the size of an area. I think a net gain of 10 lots. You know, it wasn't a huge development in a much larger development area.
When you ran for this office, your webpage, your candidate webpage, you had several statements on it. One of them I was looking at said we should not be making changes to the master plan willy-nilly.
Right.
And of course that's obvious. We shouldn't. Do you think that you've seen any of those since you've been in office?
Willy-nilly changes? No. I mean, everything that has come forward, you look at, and that was there's another master plan amendment that is being we're looking at, but it's been tabled for many meetings. This is the only other master plan amendment that has been before us, and that was that one lot size change. I take that back. There was another master plan amendment change to turn a lot from medium density to agricultural, and we voted, and that was a unanimous vote to do that, because some master plan changes do make perfect sense, and that's why we do that.
So when you see some of the criticism on let's say Facebook, for example, and people can be very cruel on there at times, and I've seen people write that you're a traitor. They elected you to do a certain thing and you didn't do it. How do you respond to that?
I don't like seeing it. It hurts at times. You know, I believe that I'm elected to represent everybody at Flower Mound, not one group over another. You know, I ran to be a councilman for all of Flower Mound. I even had it on my literature and my campaign signs for all of Flower Mound, and that's what I really feel that I'm here to do.
And I guess you're never going to satisfy everybody. So
No.
you do the best that you can, and you make the best judgment that you can. After all, as I said before, you live in this town too.
Yes.
So I want to thank you for being here to answer some of the criticism. I hope this helps, but I'm sure there'll be people who watch this and say, oh yeah, well, let me tell you something. So,
Right. People have their preconceived thoughts and how things are supposed to go. I don't know how we change that. All I know is, you know, I try to work with people and go from a point of agreement and then build from there. You can't start going from a point of disagreement and build from that.
well, just continue using your best judgment, Brian. And thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
All right.
And thank you for watching.